Let me tell you something that nobody in the dating space actually wants to say out loud. Attraction is common. Plenty of guys get that. A girl thinks you're cute. She enjoys talking to you. She likes your vibe. That's attraction. That's easy. But sexual tension, that electric, can't breathe properly, hyper-aware of every inch of space between you two feeling, that is something completely different. That is rare. And most guys have never created it in their lives, not because they're not attractive enough or interesting enough, but because they have absolutely no idea how it actually works. See, sexual tension is not about what you say. It's not about how you look. It's not about complimenting her, or flirting with her, or telling her she's beautiful. It is about the space between things, the pause before you speak, the look that lasts exactly 1 second too long, the almost touch that never quite happens, the conversation that goes somewhere neither of you planned, and suddenly the air in the room feels completely different. That feeling, that thick, electric charged feeling, doesn't happen by accident. It gets built deliberately, quietly. And in this video, I'm breaking down 7 ways to build sexual tension so intense she physically feels it when you walk into the room. Let's get into it. Number 1. Master the art of eye contact that means something. Most guys either avoid eye contact because of nervous, or they stare blankly because they think that's what confidence looks like. Both are wrong. Real tension-building eye contact is something else entirely. It's the kind of eye contact that says, "I see you," not just your face, but you, without a single word being spoken. Here's how it works. When she's talking, don't just look at her, actually look at her, like what she's saying matters and you're genuinely taking her in. And then when she finishes, don't immediately reply. Hold the eye contact for just 1 beat longer than feels comfortable. Let the silence sit there. Let her feel the weight of being looked at like that. And when she looks away first, which she will, let a slight smile cross your face. Not a grin, not a smirk, just the smallest acknowledgement that something just passed between you. That moment, that one tiny charged moment, is where tension is born. Women remember the man who looked at them like that long after the conversation is over. Be that man.
Number 2. Use your voice like a physical thing. This one is massively underrated and almost nobody talks about it. Your voice is not just a vehicle for words, it is a physical experience. When a man speaks slowly, deeply, with genuine calm and control, a woman doesn't just hear it, she feels it. And most guys do the complete opposite when they're nervous or excited around a girl they're attracted to. They talk faster, their pitch goes slightly higher, their words trip over each other trying to get out, and the tension dies before it even starts. Here's what I want you to practice. Slow everything down. When you speak to her, take your time, not awkwardly, just unhurried, like you have all the time in the world and you're in absolutely no rush to get to the end of the sentence. Let your voice drop slightly lower than your normal register. Speak from your chest, not your throat. And here's the key. Use her name, not constantly, but occasionally, at exactly the right moment, in the middle of saying something that matters. When a man says a woman's name in a low, unhurried, intentional voice, something happens to her nervous system that she cannot explain. Use your voice like it's a hand touching her shoulder. That deliberate, that intentional.
Number 3. Touch her in ways that are just inside the boundary of appropriate. Tension lives in the almost, not in the obvious, not in the direct, in the almost. The touch that happens naturally and lasts just a half second longer than friendly. The moment your hand guides her lower back gently as you walk through a door, barely there, completely intentional. The time you lean in slightly to hear her better in a loud room and your shoulder almost touches hers and neither of you moves away. The moment you brush something off her sleeve and your fingers barely graze her arm and you both register it without acknowledging it. These touches are not random. They are not accidental. They are carefully placed moments of physical awareness that remind her nervous system that you are close, that you are real, that there is something physical between you that hasn't been fully explored yet.
And that unexplored space, that charged territory between where things are and where they could go, is where sexual tension lives and breathes. Touch her like you know exactly what you're doing, but you're in absolutely no hurry to do more.
Number 4. Say things that have two meanings and let her sit in both. This is where conversation becomes a weapon of tension, and very few men know how to use it. It's not about being crude or obvious. It's about choosing words that land on two levels simultaneously. One completely innocent on the surface, one charged underneath, and then delivering them with a completely straight face and letting her brain do the rest. It's the compliment that sounds like a compliment but feels like something more. It's the observation that's technically about something else, but the subtext is completely about her. It's the joke that's technically a joke, but there's a truth underneath it that you're both aware of. The key is in the delivery. You say it completely casually, no wink, no smirk, no you know what I mean nudge. You let it land, and then you move on like you said nothing unusual. And now she's sitting there, turning it over in her head, trying to figure out if you meant what she thinks you meant. That mental loop she's running, that is tension working. She's thinking about you, about what you said, about what you might have meant, and she can't stop.
Number 5. Create moments of deliberate closeness, then pull back. This is the push-pull principle, and when it's done right, it is devastating. You move toward her, physically, emotionally, energetically, close enough that she feels it, close enough that the space between you becomes charged, and then you pull back, naturally, casually, like you weren't even aware of what just happened. You lean in during the conversation, genuinely engaged, genuinely present, your energy fully directed at her, and then you turn to look at something else. You give her your full attention for a stretch of time, and then your phone buzzes, and you glance at it, and suddenly your attention is elsewhere. You're in the middle of something that feels like it's building, and then you get up to get a drink, and you take your time coming back. Every time you pull back after moving close, you create a vacuum, and she fills that vacuum by leaning into the space you just left, by wanting you to come back, by being hyper-aware of the moment you return. The rhythm of closeness and distance, of here and then not quite here, is the heartbeat of tension. Keep her in that rhythm, and she won't be able to think about anything else.
Number 6. Be completely unbothered by how she responds to you. This is the internal game, and it is the foundation that every other point on this list is built on. You can do everything else right, the eye contact, the voice, the touch, the words, and if underneath all of it you are anxiously watching for her approval, she will feel it, and the tension will collapse. Because tension requires two people who are both slightly uncertain. The moment one person is clearly desperate for a particular outcome, the electricity dies. The man who builds insane tension is the man who genuinely does not need it to go a certain way. He's not performing. He's not running a strategy and hoping she responds correctly. He's just present and comfortable and completely at ease with whatever happens next. That ease, that genuine, unbothered quality is the most sexually charged thing a man can project because it says, I'm interested, but I'm not desperate. I want this, but I don't need it. And a woman who encounters a man like that doesn't feel the usual social dynamic where she holds all the power. She feels something she's not used to feeling, genuine uncertainty about whether she has him. And that uncertainty is everything. Number 7. And this is the one that separates the men who create real tension from the men who just create confusion. Know exactly when to say nothing. Silence at the right moment is the most powerful tension builder in existence. Not awkward silence, not silence because you ran out of things to say, chosen silence. The pause you take before you answer something she said that actually matters. The moment after she says something vulnerable, where instead of rushing to fill the space, you just look at her, quietly, like you're actually taking it in. The end of a conversation where things got real, and instead of wrapping it up with something light and easy, you just hold the moment,
You let it be what it is. These silences say more than words ever could. They say, I'm not in a rush. I'm not nervous. I'm not performing. I am just here with you in this moment, and I am completely comfortable with how charged this feels. The man who can sit in charged silence without flinching is the man who makes a woman's heart rate go up without touching her. Because that silence has weight, it has presence, it has intention, and she feels every ounce of it. Learn to be quiet at exactly the right moment. That silence will say everything you haven't said yet. And what hasn't been said yet is the most electric thing in the room.